Hi Vogue, I'm Meg Bellamy and I'm going to be taking you through the iconic looks of Kate Middleton. So starting off with a good one. This is the fashion show look that Kate Middleton wore at university. It was for charity. Supposedly it was a skirt and she kind of pulled it up last minute to make a bit more of a statement. That just says a lot about Kate in terms of going after what she wants and feeling confident in what she wears. Creating the look was really interesting. We had a few fittings for it and there was lots of like layering of different mesh and it was very intricate and really fun. And then on the actual day, the energy was amazing. We had like Kylie Minogue blasting on the speakers and the crowds were cheering. And honestly, it was just amazing to wear this kind of dress that I grew up knowing about. So this was a fun one and I think she looks amazing. So this next look is at Blenheim Palace while she was still at university. I don't know what she's sitting on, that looks very impressive. Maybe a stool. She's wearing a kind of tweed skirt, an overcoat, very cool. And these boots, they feel familiar in terms of wearing them in the show, kind of like a horsey country bumpkin type look that I think was quite prevalent in Kate's group growing up in the countryside at the time. And it's a look we kind of are inspired by in the show. I think I wear a kind of similar tweed skirt and everything. And that was really great in terms of stepping into that more country lifestyle. Kate studied art history at university and in terms of her physicality, working with our movement coach Polly Bennett was another really fascinating aspect of the research. It's tricky because there's not a lot of footage. There's no footage of how she speaks. There's definitely not a lot of footage of how she walks and moves in the era that I play her, in her university years. So I kind of did a lot of studying her now and watching how she walks, how she interacts with different people and how that differentiates based off of who she's speaking to, and then kind of trying to de-royalify her. So I incorporated that. There'd be little things like always holding her bag over her shoulder and holding it on her right shoulder, just very specific things that whenever I had a bag, I was like, great, I get to do that. So this look is at a charity polo match and William and Harry are also in attendance, and it's kind of, she's just left university. People know about her now in terms of the general public and the press, and people are starting to kind of really have conversations about her. And I think it's lovely because this, to me, is a very distinctive younger Kate Middleton look, the low-rise jeans, the vest and the cardigan. It's something that we really are inspired by in the show. And I quite like that, she's still keeping her own fashion sense and her own style within the kind of the press frenzy, I suppose. Our director, Mai El-Touki, had the great and very useful idea. After we'd had a fitting, we could take home an outfit that really felt kind of quintessentially our character. So I took home a similar outfit to this. I think it was similar kind of low-rise jeans, some heels, just to kind of walk around the house when you're practicing lines, when you're practicing the voice, just to feel her much more. It really helps everything come together. But it was really interesting wearing things like this because it's very alien for me. This look was at a wedding and the dress is designed by Issa, which was her favourite fashion house at the time. This to me is much more like what she wears today, more royal, I guess. I know obviously it's a wedding, so you have a more formal setting, but it makes me think of kind of that change in demeanour and also change in voice. And to prepare for Kate's voice, as much as we both grew up in Berkshire, so we have very similar accents, we have completely different vocal tones and things like that. And that was really fascinating to learn about. I worked with our vocal coach, William Conacher, who is a legend. My voice, we learned, is chesty, slightly, I guess, rougher, and she's much more kind of light and airy. And her vowels are so distinctive, so my favourite ones to kind of practice, I say like oh and stuff, and she says oh, and you kind of spread your mouth a little bit. And E's are lovely, like lovely, things like that. So this next look is from the engagement interview. So this is after it had been announced that they were engaged to be married. And I love this blue dress. I think it's so gorgeous, this royal blue. This was Diana's sapphire engagement ring that William gave to her. So really, really special. I think maybe the kind of blue inspiration and connection is maybe a nod and out of respect to Diana. I think it's a really classy, lovely way to honour her. And I really also love that in the interview, William says, I think they're asked about, Kate filling Diana's shoes or something like that. And they make it really clear that, Diana's shoes can't be filled. She was so special in her own right. And that it's kind of just nice to have a piece of her close, but that there's no expectation on Kate to kind of fill this role. And I've seen this interview to death because it was so useful, you know, working out her voice, because it's probably the youngest and also the most kind of informal that she chats. You know, it's not a speech, it's kind of in conversation with, and she's speaking to William as well, so he would be kind of a source of calmness, I guess, for her. So this is the famous, of course, wedding look that Kate wore, designed by Sarah Burton in Alexander McQueen. And I just love this look so much. This dress is so beautiful. It's inspired sort of by Grace Kelly. The flowers are kind of a nod to Britain. And she also wore a Cartier kind of halo tiara that she received from the Queen, which I think just really symbolises her, you know, acceptance and being welcomed into the royal family officially. It's just so beautiful and a lovely kind of commemoration of her. And I remember this, my mum actually had a royal wedding party because she was very excited. And I was quite young at the time and with friends, so we were kind of in the garden, like having cake and weren't that bothered. But I remember being like, tell me when they kiss, tell me when they're on the balcony. And that was very exciting. But there was a nice moment where, and I was kind of sat on the stairs and I'd caught a glimpse of her saying her vows. And I remember just watching her and being completely awestruck with her, like we all were. And just thinking that just how incredible and surreal that situation must have been, you know, the millions and millions and millions of people that are watching her, and just really kind of feeling for her. I think we all connected to her in a way. So this look is her first kind of meeting with the public with Prince George, her first child. There's a lovely realness to the dress that she chose, in the sense that it's a short, kind of flowy, summery dress, and she's not hiding her body. There's of course, nothing to be ashamed of. And I know that pregnancy was really tough for her and she had so much morning sickness and everything. So I just think it shows the strong leader that she is and just how kind of stoic she can be in such vulnerable and tricky times. So this is the dress she wore for the 2021 No Time to Die James Bond premiere, a gold dress inspired by Goldfinger. And I think it's so killer. It's just amazing. I love the gold detail at the top and the way it kind of flows out at the bottom. I think her style has definitely evolved throughout the years, from being kind of in university where she has this kind of, like I was saying, the country bumpkin, more horse girl aesthetic, and then when she, you know, becomes a royal, it's just very chic and elevated and elegant in so many ways. I know definitely since having a stylist myself now and being so privileged to work with these amazing brands, how it does change your style, having the freedom to be able to experiment and be bold, and seeing how style can really be an authentic expression of yourself. This look was for the state banquet. It's beautiful, very regal. The dress is designed by Jenny Peckham, and she's also wearing Queen Mary's Lover's Knot tiara. I think it was the first tiara she wore in about 3 years, and it was also a favourite of Princess Diana's. It's just cool to know the history about it. I think it's like a century old. I think it's really lovely that she's wearing this jewellery that belonged to Princess Diana as kind of a way to honour her. It's a lovely way of having her close and keeping that memory of her really prevalent and alive. I'm sure it's really lovely for William as well to see. This is one of my favourite looks of hers. I think she looks amazing. I love the black gloves with the white dress. The dress is Alexander McQueen, and this actually marks their first event as the Prince and Princess of Wales. It's the BAFTAs in 2023, and she's wearing Zara earrings as well, which I just think is really cool and very grounded and things like that. Not everything is, you know, designer for her. I just love this look. I think she looks killer. This is the Princess of Wales look for the King's coronation, which was a very special day, and she's dressing in a beautiful blue, which is according to her rank, which is the Dame Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order, which she was anointed in 2019 by Queen Elizabeth. And she's also wearing an Alexander McQueen dress underneath with a rose, which signifies England. And it was just a very exciting day. I live nearby to where this took place, so you could kind of really feel on the week leading up to it the excitement and the buzz of everybody. I could hear the marching band practicing at like 4 in the morning, which was fun, and they did great. Well done, marching band. It was just a very exciting event. I think a lovely excuse for everyone to celebrate. Thank you so much for having me, Vogue. It's been such a pleasure to look through the life of looks of the Princess of Wales.